In this video, we go over the first step of computer forensics, which is identification and acquisition. So a huge aspect of this is to obtain the original evidence. This might be through anomaly detection on our devices. We've noticed something is outside of the bounds of what we normally expect, and so we need to perform forensics to be able to determine what was the cause of this and how we might rectify the situation. Or maybe we noticed some data entries in our database that were not quite consistent with what we'd expect. So what we are going to do is get the physical and the digital evidence that we need to be able to begin our case. If a physical device is able to transmit information over the internet, we're going to store it in a Faraday bag to basically block that signal from being transmitted elsewhere. And if necessary, we have larger Faraday bags that we can either put the smaller Faraday bags in or larger devices inside of these bags. So when you're gathering this information, there's a list of do's and don'ts that you're supposed to follow to be able to ensure that you preserve the integrity of the systems and data. So for the do nots, do not turn on power off devices because that could change the data on the devices just by hitting the power button. Do not allow the suspect or any other person to touch devices because that may start destructive programs that may destroy the evidence with one keystroke. Here's a list of do's that you should follow. Document evidence before touching it. Label any components with existing connections to the computer. Photograph front and back of all devices before touching them. Photograph everything connected to the computer. Video evidence everything before touching it. Write detailed notes about what's on power to on device screens. Have computer specialists properly shut down a computer to avoid altering files or lose any evidence. Disconnect all power sources and unplug the power cords from the wall and the back of the computer. Remove the batteries on computers if possible. Place evidence tape over each drive slot, the power supply connector, and any other opening into the computer. And then finally, seal the case itself with evidence tape. So now I have a learning activity I want you to follow. So visit the physical or virtual crime scene and then abide by the list of do's and don'ts that we mentioned previously. All right, so here's the virtual crime scene. So pause this video, try this on your own, and then come back for discussion. All right, welcome back. So the first thing that we're going to do is quarantine off the area and make sure that suspects or other people cannot gain access to these devices. And then we'll go ahead and look for and document any evidence. So you notice here we have a phone, we have a computer, we have a couple Raspberry Pi devices. On top of the monitor, we have a USB. We have up here a tablet. On the left side here, we have optical discs. Inside of the tissue box might be something. There's this button. It might have a recording of something. The drawers and cupboards might actually have additional devices or evidence inside of it. And then you'll notice that we have all these cords that we need to handle. So what we're going to do is make sure that we document everything, take pictures and videos of everything, and then label each of the connections connected to these devices. We'll make sure we write detailed notes about whatever's on the screens. When we're ready, we'll have a computer specialist properly shut down the computer to avoid altering or losing any evidence. We'll disconnect all the power sources and unplug all the cords, and then we'll make sure that we label these where they went. We'll put evidence tape over any slots on the computers and devices to make sure that they can't be tampered with. And if we can remove the batteries from some of these devices, we'll go ahead and do that. Thanks for watching my video. Feel free to click the links here to watch the next video of the playlist, continue to the next playlist, or subscribe.